YouTube, it's Alicia here, none other. Happy Monday, none other. I am back to give y'all another video today, and today we're going to be doing wrestling talk, but I'm going to be mostly talking about John Cena's wrestling gimmick from the past decade. And the only reason I have to say this is due to one thing. Have y'all noticed his gimmick was mostly based off of, wait for it, African American culture? And he's a non-African American wrestler. Let's get into it and talk about it. Okay, so y'all, coming to this, doing this video very positive. This is a positive video. I'm not downplaying anything. It's just I have noticed people don't talk about this issue. And to me, my parents have always sat me down and just say, oh, that's kind of, John Cena's gimmick is not up to par. It's so taken from African American culture. WWE is cultural appropriation, certain things about certain superstars and things. And I never thought about it until recently and stuff, because you know, we all know when something like this happens, cultural appropriation happens, everybody has their 2 cents. Okay. And I wanted to talk about it because I don't see a lot of wrestling content creators from female to male talk about this issue when it comes to John Cena. Saying, and I'm literally saying, his gimmick is based off of African American culture. So let's talk about his gimmick. So if you look at his gimmick, he wears denim jeans, and he has underwear on, and his jeans are sagging. What we associate that with a oversized jersey on. And he takes his jersey off to wrestle, and he wears sneakers when he wrestles. Not actual wrestling boots. Okay. I see a African American culture fashion style right there. Hello. That's one. Number 2, he's rapping. Aside Eminem rapping, y'all don't see a problem with it, right? Like I'm saying, coming to y'all very respectfully with this. To me, when I first saw him do this years ago, I didn't think nothing of it until I gotten older. So about the time I hit about 30, I noticed John Cena's gimmick, and I started looking at it, and then I started going, I don't think that gimmick is appropriate. Yeah, I start saying John Cena gimmick is not appropriate. Let's just say I graduated in 2002 when John Cena debuted in WWE. And I never questioned his gimmick until I got 30, and I go, his gimmick is questionable. And I'm going to say, it is questionable. WWE is known for taking other cultures and giving them to a non-cultured wrestler. And I'm going to give you some prime examples of this. Okay. If it's a gimmick choice or if it's a styling choice, you have to look at WWE with the side eye. Okay. It's some choices I do think WWE has made. And they made it, and so they need to apologize for it. Some of y'all might not think this is something to be talking about. I really believe it is. So let me give you, I'm very well known on my Twitter of calling out hypocrisy when it comes to WWE and fairness and stuff. But now I'm going to talk about. So let's talk about the legendary tag team, Crime Time. When you look at Crime Time, Chad, the late Chad Gaspard and JTG, you see they are giving off this gangster thug life, like gimmick. Okay, some people say, oh, that was a little bit of R. If you not the R you think, it has an R in it, has an I, and it has an M at the end. Yeah. And stuff, and I do agree with that. It's the way that they portrayed that. The way that they portrayed Godfather. Yeah. So you looking at that, you going, okay, you got these black wrestlers portraying these not so good gimmicks based off of African Americans, but then you have somebody who's a non, and let me just say who is a non-African American wrestler portraying the same, doing the same thing, and everybody is praising it. Y'all don't see a problem? I feel like John Cena's gimmick was a problem, and some of y'all fans just never recognized it. Do I think it's time for us to recognize that John Cena gimmick was a problem when he first started off? Let's talk about when he first started off in WWE in 2002. Like I said, I remember when he debuted. He debuted of May of 2002, the same year I graduated high school. And I remember the first gimmick he had. His first gimmick was supposed to be based off of a boxer, and it was supposed to be ruthless aggression and stuff like that. No, bodybuilder. His gimmick was supposed to be mostly based off of a bodybuilder, and it was supposed to say ruthless aggression. It didn't work. Well, John Cena was around some of the black wrestlers, and he was rapping. And this is where we need to blame Stephanie McMahon. She decided to go with that and do that as his gimmick. The Chain Gang. Come on, y'all remember the Chain Gang, him rapping, the styling and everything. To me, he did our look. He did the look from head to toe, from the cap to the jersey to the, you know how we wear blinged out neck piece, the band wore out blinged out neck pieces. He had that. He had, you can see the band of his underwear with short jeans, and wearing Jordans. Hey, he did that. And he's rapping. He's having the black accent. And y'all, he's doing the black accent and stuff like that. And I was like going, wait, if y'all can give a non-black wrestler this gimmick, then why you couldn't give that gimmick to an actual black wrestler? I actually put up the question and stuff on Twitter, and everybody on Twitter is refusing to answer it. And I think I know why. Wrestling fans refuse to answer it. They feel like they're disrespecting John Cena if they answer it. But you have to consider that WWE do cultural appropriation when it came to John Cena's gimmick. I'm bringing it forefront because I don't see a lot of content creators talk about it. And I'm going to be the bold female content creator to talk about it. Let's talk about some other things that was very questionable. Okay, let's talk about yokozuna. Okay, yokozuna, who is part of one of the biggest Samoan families. Yes, the big 600-pound wrestler who did a Japanese sumo wrestler gimmick. He's actually Samoan. Why would you get a Samoan wrestler doing a Japanese a Japanese sumo wrestler gimmick, coming out with Mr. Fiji. Explain that. That's questionable, right? Yes, that's very questionable. And I see that as a very questionable thing. Okay, let's talk about hairstyles. Now, everybody and their mother, we're very, I know everybody in the black community is very ticky when it comes to our hairstyles and things. We have been very ticky about that, and regardlessly if anybody is Hispanic or white, we are very ticky. Now, I do believe on certain hands when it comes to, I want to be very respectful, Hispanic and Latin American wrestlers, I believe some of their gimmicks has also been done by non-Hispanics and non-Hispanics Caribbean wrestlers as well and stuff. Because I can recall something that I remember that was very man-kaboggling, and it kind of depicted, I'm trying to come at this with a positive light, kind of depicted the running of the bull. If you know what country I'm talking about. The running of the bull. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If I say running of the bull, you know what country I'm talking about. And I saw that and I just go, why is it so? Why would they do this? Why would they do this? And we as fans don't consider some of the gimmicks like this. Okay, let's talk about Xia Li. Okay, Xia Li, she wore, let's see, 2 different occasions she has worn box braids and micro braids. And we have considered box braids and micro braids be considered part of the African American community. But some people say the micro braids is also part of the Vietnamese culture as well. I don't know much about the Vietnamese culture. I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm botching it. I'm sorry, but I will put it in the caption. But all I'm saying is, it was very controversial when she wore those 2 different types of braids and stuff. And if you remember in the match, they kept hitting her in the face and stuff like that. All right, that was very controversial. Okay, another thing that people called out was Mufasa Ali wearing cornrow braids. Now, everybody knows the significance of cornrow braids. Cornrow braids is what we women will braid our hair up when we wear protective styles. He wore this for 2 weeks. And everybody was in an uproar, especially on Twitter. And I know I can say I was. I felt disrespected and stuff by WWE. I'm mentioning key things that WWE does. I see it. Okay, then last but not least, we have Becky Lynch. Now, as y'all know, Becky Lynch have always wore these, like, little knots on top of her hair. And it was and the knots was mostly too much like African American Bantu knots. And I know a lot of people, and I can say myself, complained on Twitter. And people was like saying, oh, but it's just a hairstyle, it's just a hairstyle. Hairstyle or not, WWE should know better. And I just really feel like, why would you give somebody who is a non-wrestler, who is a non-African-American wrestler, a gimmick based off African-American culture? And then we have seen Vince McMahon do African-American lingo We have seen John Cena do the African American lingo. So who do we need to blame for John Cena's gimmick, even though his gimmick is based off of African American culture? And like I said, I don't hardly see a lot of wrestling content creators talking about this, but I'm a bold enough female content creator to actually talk about it. We need to get this conversation started. Is it fair? Is it fair for WWE to give a non-African American wrestler a African American gimmick to cosplay on national TV? Or is it time for Triple H and TKO Holdings to change that, to make sure that doesn't happen? And what do y'all think of John Cena's gimmick for the past decade? Was it a good idea or was it a bad idea? Like I said, y'all, was coming at this situation with being respectful of his wrestling career, but bringing up a problem in WWE. I gave you some points. I gave you some outlines. I'm giving you my point of view. Like I said, I really feel like WWE needs to go through a process of when they give non-wrestlers gimmicks, finding something that really suits them and making sure you're not being disrespectful to any culture and that. So the question of the day, do WWE need to go through some barriers to make sure they're not being disrespectful to any cultures when they give out wrestling gimmicks? Until then, I'm Alicia. Don't forget to thumbs up this video, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.